There is no protocol for this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Protocol for This. I'm one of your hosts, Nate.
And I'm Allie.
And we welcome back another episode.
We're
one.
welcoming the
I'm
episode back.
I'm welcoming. Gosh, dang it. Can you tell we're tired?
Beep, boop, bop, boop.
My brain, like old school when there was dial-up and then all of a sudden you get a phone call.
And then it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
You're getting a phone call.
That's the sound my brain. I hope it's the
signals
aliens.
are being interrupted.
I hope it's the aliens. They're coming down to pick me up.
Yeah. Are we doing fun facts today?
Fun facts. Don't worry. Not going to make you guess. I know you got as much brain power as I do right now.
Yeah.
So, a man, a myth, a legend passed away yesterday, not in 1994.
Oh, I was like, what?
He's a Seattle dude. I don't know if he was actually from Seattle, but Kurt Cobain.
Oh.
Yeah. Man, myth, the legend. April 12th. First time anybody went to space.
How fitting.
Cool. Yeah.
We currently have someone, or we don't.
Shout out Artemis 2.
Going around the moon right now.
There are people.
Four peoples.
This is really fitting because I swear this band is haunting me through you.
Oh, okay.
NSYNC said bye, bye, bye and sang their last tour before they went on hiatus in April.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like,
That's
you gotta be shitting me.
Well, that song keeps popping up because wedding planning and trying to find an exit.
Yeah.
The reception song, and that one keeps coming up.
Yeah.
It's a sign, babe.
Last but not least, the Civil War began. April 12th. Man on the moon, or Man in space, April 12th. Civil War, April 12th.
Fun facts.
That's all I got for
facts. You. Yeah. Brain power's on low.
OpenAI let it out for you. Let it down. Loaded it up.
Released it.
They did something. I put in a prompt and it came out with that. Yeah.
Some interesting facts there.
They were kind of interesting, for sure.
Yeah.
There's some good ones.
Brain power kind of leads us to what we're going to talk about. We talked about a lot in the beginning of how this podcast is going to be whatever people want us to talk about, just kind of our normal everyday life stuff, things that we find interesting or topics that we've had, things that we've taught. What are you doing?
I was looking over at the monitor and with my hands right here, it looked like I wasn't wearing pants.
Oh.
So I had to let everybody know that I was wearing pants by putting on my pants to the side. But please.
Very distracting.
Proceed.
Yeah. Anyways, we've been talking about all sorts of things, but one of the things that we wanted this podcast to be was very unfiltered and raw in the sense of literally talking about life. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just talk about our life lately because I feel like we have a lot of fun podcasts, a lot of good advice to certain questions that are asked, but then sometimes we leave out the fact that you and I are humans too.
Very much so.
I mean, it's always in there, but in the sense of not every day is rainbow and butterflies for us. And I feel like this last week or two, in particular for me and you as well, because you feed off of me and I feed off of you, very stressful and just kind of draining.
Yeah.
But
super stressful, super draining.
Yeah. I would say I feel like things have been stressful. One, wedding planning, even though it's not super stressful, it's just another thing that we're doing right now. So it's
we're kind of ramping up. I thought it was dialing down, and now it's
because it's almost the end.
It's ramping up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just finished doing invitations last night, and watching some Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. It was a fun experience, but I was in my head, I thought I had 100 and some odd when you looked at me and you were like, no, there's not even over 70 here. So, but yeah, it's just a whole bunch of stuff lately.
Yeah. It's been more than just, I think wedding planning is just one more thing that has been on our list.
Yeah.
But I know last week for me was a struggle because even early on in the week, I'll spare the details because people need to know exactly where we're located, but the kids' school is just not doing great. Just the school district is not doing well, and then in turn the schools aren't doing well, which put a lot of stress on me. Mm-hmm. And I know I got really stressed out about it. I still am stressed out about it just to make sure. I obviously want the girls to have a good education,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure that they're learning even we talked about what we should learn in school, and I feel like right now things are not being taught. It's more like glorified babysitting, and to no fault to the teachers at all. Like those teachers have a
Yeah.
hard ass job, especially right now, because they keep making class sizes bigger and bigger by cutting more and more teachers. And it's just very frustrating and stressful as a parent because I want the girls to learn and to succeed. And it's hard to do because then I went on like a hiatus tangent, not hiatus, that's the wrong word, but I went on like a tangent about like we should move, we need to move out of this district. But with more moving, I mean, with moving comes finding a place and then more money and
Yeah.
reestablishing and making sure it's going to be appropriate for you and me and the kids. And life has been life in me right lately.
Yeah. You started a snowball.
I did. That's the appropriate word.
Yeah, you
Snowball.
started a snowball and it started slowly turning into a snowman.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I don't
holy
know if
shit, we
slowly
just
is even
built the
right.
base of it.
Yeah. The foundation's
But I
already down.
mean, granted, like all of your stress is definitely warranted for sure because
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting to see. I mean, just down the rabbit hole that I went through for education really quick was interesting. I was like cutting funding, um, administrative pay, different stuff with what we're teaching in schools, how we're teaching students, what kind of education, and where technology has really dived into the whole thing. Is You had to take a step back and like look at it for a second
Yeah.
because I was sitting there snowballing within hours. I was sending you Instagram reel, news reels, all of these different things like back to back, and I was just like, wow, this is nothing something I ever thought of.
Yeah. Like the
Because
thought of putting robots as teachers.
yeah, well, just stresses that I've never had,
Oh, yeah.
in my life where I'm like, this is crazy. Like I care about my two little ones a lot, um, and the education that they have, and I want to make sure they do get good education. But
Yeah.
then I went through a whole entire conspiracy theorist about what was going on. So
Well, it's just frustrating. I think a lot of things frustrated me because within last week, it was like the conversation about the kids in school and should we move. And we were talking about reasons for moving more than just for the school districts, like
yeah,
closer to work and less of a commute and closer to accessibility of things like even stores or restaurants or
yeah,
amenities and things like that. So it was much more, it just was one of those things that, yeah, I snowballed and it went into a big thing. Um, but within that same week were like conferences where obviously a kiddo in middle school is testing their boundaries at the moment.
it's a
And
good way to put it.
well, that's what middle schoolers do, right?
Yeah,
Like we said it from the beginning going into sixth grade, like there's gonna be a lot of changes because she's trying to find herself right now and
yeah,
like learning emotions and learning hormones and all that stuff. And so I fully expect my middle school child to test boundaries.
yeah,
That's another, they're growing. And when we had their conference, and mind you, technology is everywhere. Like they literally carry around these stupid, and I shouldn't say stupid, but it frustrates me because of what it leads to. Surfaces or what are Chromebooks.
Chromebooks. Yeah,
And that's what they do all day is work off of Chromebooks. And the frustrating part is the school district has no um locks. What's the word I'm looking for?
they have no proxies for sites,
Well, I
so
mean, what's the non-IT word I'm looking for?
they have no firewall for students to be able to. They have no way
Restrictions. Like there's no
restriction. Yeah,
restrictions
they
on
have no
there. So,
firewall. Basically, is
yeah,
what you're thinking of.
I would know to say firewall. But yes.
It's what you allow sites.
Yeah, there's no
There's
protection on
no
the Chromebook.
restriction. Yeah,
So these kids at any given time, like during the day, during when they're supposed to be learning class stuff, can go on YouTube or TikTok or whatever the heck websites they want to go on because
right.
it's not a protected server or electronic.
Hmm.
I mean, even my kid's phone has more locks on it
Yeah,
than the school. So I know there's the capability of doing so.
right.
But also, like how you brought up a good question of like, okay, because one of the things that came up with our kid was well, they're doing a lot of talking and not paying attention in class. And then it was like you look at the history and it's like during class time, it's YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, why the hell can they even go on YouTube
Yeah.
during class time? Um, and so you asked about like, well, can you see what the kids are doing? Like, can you monitor their screens?
Yeah.
And
Mirror their screens.
yeah, and the response just kind of pissed me off. And I think maybe it was because I was already in a heightened like state of being frustrated with the school that just was another thing on top of it.
I think you were on the cusp of like wanting to start a debate.
And that like
And
tipped me over
yeah, you were
the
like
edge.
right there, and you knew that the person that we were having a parent teacher conference was not the right person to have the debate
Yeah,
with,
so I didn't do
but
that,
you were
but
sitting on the edge of like holding your tongue, but at the
yeah.
same time, I could see the frustration building.
Yeah, it was
And I wasn't
frustrating.
even looking at the FaceTime.
Yeah. And it was frustrating because I mean, here I am. I was on technology to talk to them about their technology, but
Yeah.
I get it. Like we're in a world of technology, but then if you're going to have widespread Chromebooks on in schools, then they should have websites blocked and they should have protection on them. But then it was the fact that they're like, "Oh yeah, we can mirror or what is it? Mirror their screen."
Yeah, we could mirror their
Yeah,
screens
where
so
we
that
can see
way.
what they're
Yeah.
doing, but we don't.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just don't have the time, which I mean, like you said, to teachers, they're sitting there handling emotion problems
Yeah.
rather than,
And
any.
that's why I don't fault the teachers.
Yeah.
And I also like, okay, kiddo, like to my kid, like get your shit together. You shouldn't be doing this. But at the same time, she's a teenager, almost a teenager. Like that's what she's gonna do. She's testing
Yeah.
those boundaries. And if they're not putting limits on it, then it's a free for all for all
Yeah.
students. But then it's yeah, there's a lot.
Well, then there's that miscommunicate. Well, we like to say miscommunication, but realistically, it's just testing the boundaries of you get free time. Well, free time, it's called Chromebook free time or something like that.
Yeah.
And you get, so we can just do whatever we want on the Chromebook. No,
Yeah.
you're in school. The reason to be here is to do schoolwork.
Yeah.
So if you have free time, and that's testing the boundaries
Yeah. And I get it
and
too.
stating,
Like I said, I don't fault the teachers at all. And I know it's a lot because their class sizes are increasing and they're having to watch so many, like, not watch, like babysit, but they're having to keep an eye on so many more students than they were before. But it's that like 50-50 mix where it's like partly the kids need to learn, like, okay, we shouldn't be doing this. But at the same time, it's no different than at home, right?
yeah,
Where if we don't have rules and discipline,
yeah,
the kid's going to keep acting that way if you allow them to act that way, right? And that's how I view it at school. Like if you allow them to go on these websites and we're going to do everything on the computers, that's how they're going to act.
yeah,
So I just wish it was more of a balance again, where it was learning through books and handwritten things, and then
yeah,
maybe a few things on the computer,
yeah.
or like computer work was done at home, like on you have a research or whatever you need to do. I just feel like
A
there's
basic
too,
desktop that you can't walk around with.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was very frustrating. So that was one of the lifing us situations. And then yeah, it's like planning the wedding is probably the easiest thing going on in life right now,
hmm,
but it is just one more thing on the list
yeah,
to handle.
yeah. Their life can definitely start compiling things, especially when your plate, you're sitting there with like one of those little plates, and you're like, okay, we are piling things now.
Yeah.
We're adding this here, we're adding this there. It's like going to Thanksgiving with a tiny plate. You're sitting
Yeah.
there like, oh yeah, here
Just
we go.
piling it up
So
and then it breaks.
everything on the plate is good, and it's there to be there, and
Yeah.
it's there for a reason, right? But when you're sitting there and you're running out of space, you only have so much room in your stomach to handle everything, and so you're sitting there going, my eyes were bigger than my stomach, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I think that there's a huge lesson for people that have these kind of opportunities, and I like to call them opportunities. At the end of the day, I'm exhausted and it sucks, but it's an opportunity for sure. The opportunity I see is you're never given, from the dude upstairs, you're never given more than you can handle.
Yeah.
So if I'm able and like if I just keep piling this stuff up on me and us, then I must be capable of doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fully broken down yet, but that's coming next week. I've got that penciled in. No, I'm
Yeah.
joking.
And my mental breakdown is scheduled.
Yeah, mental breakdown's fully scheduled.
Wallow in self pity.
Yeah, exactly. I can't miss that.
Yeah.
But I definitely like to think of it as opportunities. Like with the school thing, you're looking at how you can be a better parent, how you can guide your kids, in a better way. For me, it's just an extra added dose of like, hey, here you go. Like, here's another coal to the fire of trying to become a bonus dad and learn more kind
Yeah.
of thing. It's awesome. I think it's cool, but it is exhausting,
Yeah.
right? And patience is always that thing that's constantly being put in there.
Yeah.
And it's like you always got to remember what you're teaching is the same thing that you're doing. So you got to lead by example in that situation.
Yeah, and I feel like I totally agree. Like you're given what you can handle,
Hmm.
but I also think it's okay to be human and be like feel the weight of the world,
That's
right?
yeah.
Because it's I say that all the time. Like I always circle back when I'm in these stressful moments. I circle back to finding that silver lining
Hmm.
of things. But it is like, man, these last couple of weeks have been taking a toll on me, and I've been not sleeping well
Yeah.
and waking up just with anxiety
Yeah.
and going to sleep like happy, perfectly fine, but waking up feeling anxious to the
Yeah.
point. What last week I went into work and I told my medical assistant, who was amazing, and I'm thankful for that. I was just like, I'm feeling really anxious today.
Yeah.
So if I seem standoffish or quiet, I promise it has nothing to do with you. The world has me anxious.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, today today is a hard one to walk right now,
Yeah, it's crazy.
especially since the beginning of this year. It's been quite interesting.
Yeah,
I can
2026
go
has been
I
wild.
can go down a rabbit hole about everything that's going on as well
Yeah,
through different things, but I think at the end of the day, if people are learning how to walk through, and like you said, it's okay. It's okay to totally human yourself. Like nobody is perfect.
right.
There's nobody on this earth is perfect. Like that's the whole reason why we're on planet Earth.
Yeah,
Like that's the whole reason why we're on this giant rock together.
yeah.
Because nobody is perfect and everybody's trying to figure
We're
it
all
out.
adapting and learning together.
Everybody's trying to figure it out. So, you know, I learned from the best on how to take things, well and figure out how to adapt to them and navigate through things. I
Yeah.
mean, you have one of the most simplistic navigational tools. I don't even know what to really put a name to it, but like how you can guide yourself. You know me, I'm a ginger Aries hothead where I'm like, fuck this. Like I'm not fucking doing this
Yeah.
anymore, and that only that only adds to the fire of
Right.
being stressed. Like
That only fuels my
yeah.
stress.
And at the end of the day, like or at the end of whatever I say, fuck this, and I can't do it, it actually helps me. So it's always like a two-way street, right? Like
Yeah.
I never know how to figure that out. So
That seems a
yeah,
little one-wayed. Helping you, stressing me out. I
it's
guess
two-way.
two
It's
ways.
it's bad. I'm going
It's one way
backwards.
towards you. It's good for
It's
you.
bad. It's bad because I'm making you go
Yeah.
backwards. It's good because I have to get over that emotion,
Yeah.
right? And
Get that off your chest and then
then I
move
can
forward.
figure something out.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, it's like that's why I was saying it's a two-way street.
Yeah. I mean, I had a meltdown at Walmart because,
You did?
yeah, remember
Uh,
just yesterday?
yes.
Not a meltdown. I just got like really hot and like flustered,
Sweaty palms.
sweaty palms.
Vomit
But then
on the
I like,
sweater already.
yeah,
Mom
knees weak.
spaghetti.
Yeah. But no, it's just one of those things where I think I said to you, I was like, it's just we were buying plants and
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, in today's world, like you have a great job. Sorry, you have a great job. I'm working towards that as well. And it's like we live in a day and age where it's like people can make money, but yet they don't have enough to just do the small things for themselves to
yeah.
appreciate it, to appreciate how hard they work. And, just for you, it was like, I just want to like let some steam off. I enjoy doing this
Just
and
want to plant some
I want to
vegetables.
plant some vegetables,
Yeah.
like something so simple. And you turn around and you're like, okay, there's $200. And you're like, dude, I got some bags of fertilizer,
And like 3 plants.
4 plants,
Yeah.
and a thing to put them in.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, and it was just, and again, maybe because I had already been in like high stress state the last
Yeah.
week or so, but it was just frustrating because I think I said to you like what made me, and then that's where like that's my brain and my brain's problem is that like, did we buy the things? Yes. Did I plant the vegetables? Yes. But it was like my brain went to like I worked really hard and to get through school to have my dream job, and I love my job and I get paid very well, but it still just blows my mind to like have the income that I do and still be stressing about planting a freaking garden.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God, that's $200 plus you got to do this, plus that's more money, and then I got to do that. So it's things like that where it's like, what kind of world do we live in where I have to stress out about planting a garden when I have my dream job that pays well? It shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, there's so many things we could go into and with the world right now, and we're not going to. But it's just, yeah, the world is a little chaotic at the moment. It does get to us too. But I think too, like a big part of it was learning. Like we've learned a lot the last 4 months, just since your accident too, where it's like we had to learn a new lifestyle and learn how to adjust our income. But a big part of it is like we're also paying for a wedding, like you
Yeah.
brought up yesterday, where it's like, okay, our income got cut a little bit,
A lot of it.
a lot of it with your accident. Um, and then we were paying for a wedding on top of it. So I guess we haven't had the opportunity yet to enjoy the income we have
Yeah.
because it's been catching up on other things. And then I go into this snowball effect of then just getting angry at like about your accident, and then like it's at a standstill. And so I can only imagine how you feel because I know how it makes me feel too. Was I wasn't even the one in the accident, but the repercussions that I feel through you. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, for sure. For sure. It's tough. I think lately I've just been like hiding my stress,
Yeah.
you know? I just because I don't want it to project. That might be the man side of me that I just like definitely don't want it to impact you as much. I do have times where it does impact, but it's like there's been plenty of other times where I've just been like, I need to walk away. Nobody's home. I'm just gonna let this out right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write about this. I'm going to write about this again.
Get it all out.
I now have 4 pages on writing about it. And you keep going. And like the big thing for me is the unknown stuff. I
Yeah.
think people stress a lot about the unknown, and the really shitty part people stress about is money.
Hmm.
Money is just one of those things where it's like there's that old saying, money makes the world go round, and it's like it really shouldn't, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like you literally can't live without it.
Well, yeah, that's like when they say like money can't buy you happiness. No, not in particular. It doesn't buy me happiness, but does it keep a roof over my head?
Yeah.
Does it keep food on my table, gas in my car, give me the ability to go have my kids play soccer? Yeah.
Does it keep stress out of my mind?
Yeah. So in
Yeah.
that turn, no, it doesn't straightforward buy happiness, but money correlates to happiness
Yeah.
because it takes money to survive.
Takes money to survive.
Yeah.
Which should just be a basic human instinct to be able to live, you know?
Yeah.
Live comfortably. Like things aren't what they used to be. And it's hard because I think our generation is like really trying to figure out how to adapt
Yeah.
to everything that's going on. Like
But it's so much change at once.
huge. It's a huge amount of change. You know, you look at our grandparents and they were like, okay, we went from horse and trolley to cars. It's like, okay. And then we got new gadgets, like kitchen gadgets and shit like that. Like nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Like nothing wild. Not like, oh, we went through a pandemic. Oh,
I mean, they had pandemics too, but yeah, it was
not
kind of
like
crazy.
crazy pandemics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Where the world locked down,
where the
shut
world
down.
locked
Yeah.
down, where
Robots
the
are
whole
doing
entire fucking
everything.
world locked down.
Yeah.
You know, where they're trying to have robots teach our kids.
Yeah.
Where they have physical evidence of how technology has impacted at a certain date, like education.
Yeah.
Like there has been nothing like this generation, and I think, or this our generation, and I think that it is a struggle on how to try to figure out how to navigate it. And every day you're waking up and you're like, okay, the air breathes the same, things kind of look the same, but you're always sitting on anticipation of like what's going to come
What's
next.
next? Yeah.
What's next?
Well, and it's like waking up. Maybe we should stop watching the news in the morning. I don't know, but it's kind of like the thing, coffee and the news, and it is like every day. I'm like, absolutely not. Like the whatever that Mod 3. What is that robot thing called? I don't know. Um,
The what?
the robot that they want to put in schools to teach. I forget what it's called. But anyways,
Oh, Elon Musk's.
I don't know. But anyways, I just will say the second I see a robot as a teacher will be the last day my kid is in any kind of school
Yeah.
like that because the children need emotional connection and yeah, and I won't go down that rabbit hole, but that is what it stresses me out. And then we like wake up and see all these new things and I'm like, no.
I mean, these are probably the things. I mean, go down that rabbit hole. These are things people like also think about. You
I
know?
just think it's wild. It's literally looks like if you go watch the movie I Robot and then look at that robot, tell me it's not the same thing.
Yes.
Like, and if that's gonna be that thing is what's gonna be teaching my kids, no, that's not gonna happen.
Well, you also got to remember. Here's the deal about that whole situation: is in order for Elon Musk to get a certain amount of money from a certain amount of people, he was required to make like 7 or 3 million of those robots
I don't know because
by
I
a
don't know
certain
those
time.
facts for sure, so I don't go down those holes.
No, no, no.
But
That is literally that is a fact. That's not a rabbit hole. That's a fact.
mm,
In order to get a certain amount of money, he had to make a certain amount of robots by a certain period of time. What do
yeah,
those robots do?
I don't know.
They go like
Stay away from me.
they all. But that's the thing is you're gonna start seeing them more and more and
Right.
more.
So I
And
want
by the
everybody to
time
go
we're
watch
50
iRobot.
years old, I guarantee you by the time we're 50 years old, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna I'm gonna jot back down to this podcast, and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, babe, what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
What are you telling me?
I'm
You just
telling
keep
you,
saying by the time you're 50 years old.
you're gonna see more and more of those
Oh,
robots,
I'm
and
sure, but I want nothing to do
they
with
will
them.
be running, not running things, but you will be like, who am I ordering from? A robot. Who's bringing my food out to me? A
Yeah. What
robot.
is that? Wally? What's that movie where that's all the fat people on the
Yeah,
spaceship?
it's Wally.
But that's my thing is like, yeah, just well, okay. Going back to the robots being teachers, how do they know what these kids are doing? How are they gonna like? What are you gonna tell the kid? Like, stop messing with that. You can't have that. You're not supposed to do that. Okay, then they're gonna hit the robot or like cause it to short circuit. Like these aren't viable. Like these aren't things that are actually practical.
Yeah, because they think that the students are just going to sit there in their chairs and listen,
Yeah, which they don't. But
which they don't.
yeah, my conspiracy theory is with robots. You know what that is. I just feel like that's people's way of just watching the rest of the world. But I absolutely am against robots in classrooms. I don't think that my kids need to learn how to be social and emotional as well. And I know they say these robots can feel emotion too.
Yeah, that's news to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's news to me. I don't think a robot can feel
they're
emotion.
emotional. And yeah,
They can't feel emotion.
I just think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. There's too many robotic things going on, and then what happens when they don't work? The world just crashes, and none of us know how to function. What?
I laugh so much because they're like there's like a lot of movies that I bring up, and you're like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, and I'm like, we watched it last week, and you're like, and I'm like, and then you get so hooked on certain movies, and like iRobot, I think is like permanently stuck in your brain
Yeah,
due to this whole thing. And
it's a
you're like,
terrifying movie.
it is a terrifying movie. I mean,
We use
so is
technology.
Terminator, like right?
Yeah, we use technology every single day. We're using technology right now. I think there is a time and a place for it, but I don't feel like it needs to take over our world.
The world wouldn't improve and keep growing if there wasn't technology.
I
If
understand
you
that.
capped it at a certain
But that's
period
what
of
I'm saying.
time,
I think there's a place for it to be put. Like there's a places that technology is great. That's so cool. We have this. But there are a lot of places that we don't need to be putting technology into,
I agree
like
with you.
teachers
Schools, yes, for sure. Now, where would you put those robots?
in the garbage.
You just want no robots,
Like,
period.
no, watch the movie.
How do you think your Jeep got built?
Well, that's taking people's jobs away though.
Robots.
And then we want to know why our economy's failing. Well, there's a lot of reasons, but also why are we taking people's jobs away? That's like self checkout at the I hate like I use it because no checkout lines are ever open anymore. But that's taking so many jobs from people.
Yeah, that's a good thing to think about. Self-scanning,
Self checkout?
self-checkout.
Yeah.
There's a
That stresses me out
there was a
too.
day and age where
I get
you one time saw self-checkout. And I guarantee you on that day you were like, I'm not using that.
hmm
I'm not using that.
I
I'm not
always try
using
to
that.
go to
I'm not
people if I
using that.
can.
And then all of a sudden one day it was convenient for you to do it.
Because they stop putting people
And
up
you
there.
went and did it.
The only people that are there are the people watching the self checkout.
And then
Target is notorious for that.
Guess who's gonna watch the self checkout after this?
Robots.
Robots.
And I'm just gonna walk around flipping them all off. I don't like that. Yeah, don't like it.
Okay.
That's so many jobs for people that you are taking away.
So the whole idea of bringing in the problem with the whole situation is the robots are supposed to be there to make jobs easier, right? Or to alleviate and to make humanity enjoy life rather than working all the time.
Right.
But the problem is you have to have a constant inflow of cash, and
like we just talked about, you have to have money to do that.
In order to do that,
yeah.
right? So that's where the missing element of the whole thing is you take away the job, that person can't provide for their family.
Yeah.
And you're not supplementing them for their family. So you're sitting in a situation going, well, what do I do now? Well, now you have to go either learn something
and then
new.
it's just going to make the rich richer, because who's getting paid for those robot teachers? The robots aren't getting paid, but we have to pay the people making them, right? And to pay the people that are providing them.
Well, here's the thing. Pay the people that are providing them. But then here's the thing too, is how much money do the schools save, or how much does the state save by not spending money on the schools? So where does that money then?
And then how many teachers lose their job?
Yeah, exactly.
See, this is not a good domino effect.
How many teachers
playing footsies
with you? How many teachers start a private education system to where you then pay, instead of paying into the school, you pay into a private education?
But you have to have the ability and funding to start that, and the funding comes from the same people that have the robots in the school. Mm-hmm. So it won't happen.
Private education.
Yeah, which costs money.
Mm-hmm. It's a domino effect of 5 million different things.
Yes. Well, we went on a big tangent there. But again, this is what I was talking about today, is like life has been lifing us hard, and these are all the things that we've been talking about and things that we're validly stressed about.
I kind of gave you cookie crumbs in order to get you there, though. That was my fault.
No, that's okay.
But I started leading you down the path.
I could go down that path forever, but then I'll wake up tomorrow and be anxious because of all these things. And I've learned over the last week, and it's still hard because you get anxious, but you just have to kind of roll with the punches, as they say, and just hope we're making the right choices. For me, my biggest thing, like I will hands down, the number one thing that will stress me out the most is doing what's right for the kids, because being mom is my number one.
Yeah.
And I get stressed out that even when like the parent teacher conference, when they're like, oh, she's not listening in class, she's on YouTube, I could very much so have easily like snapped back, like you said, and been like, well, maybe don't allow them to use the computers.
Yeah.
But instead I was like, am I not doing the right thing? Like, am I not teaching my kid right to be respectful in class? But it's that, no, she's at the age of pushing boundaries, testing boundaries.
Yeah.
Seeing how far she can go. And then also, if there is no discipline or structure at school, she's going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because she's like, ooh, this boundary I can push past. There isn't one here.
Right.
But yeah, so at the end, it's just being a mom has its own stress in the weirdest way possible, because that's nothing my kids are necessarily doing wrong. Obviously, we've talked to her, said moving forward, here's how it's going to be. But also, there's other things that need to be fixed in the school structure too. So it's stressful, because where do I take it in personally and go like, am I doing the right thing as a mom when those happen, and just add more stress to myself?
My thing was, how do I do more?
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, that's my workload, right? Like, or that's our workload. Like, you now have to do more.
Yeah.
It's just more teaching.
Yep.
It's more strict situations. And I think in this day and age, a lot of parents, it's this weird fine balance of like, I don't know who these, is it Gen Z? Is that
I don't know what generation we're on.
whatever generation we're on?
Yeah.
It's a weird fine balance on what these kids are learning through social media and
Yeah.
their friends and manipulating what they're doing, you know?
Right.
And it's like, then there's that fine balance of like, we're stuck in the middle of like how our parents taught us versus how we're trying to teach them. And we're in this way of adaptation towards how we teach, you know, our kids. And as you're trying to teach them, you're like, okay, I don't want to do anything to piss you off too much because you're doing, you're saying some weird ass shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're feeling triggered or something.
Yeah.
Like you're about to trigger me into a backhand, you know, like that kind of thing.
But that just
Not
shows
me,
generational
obviously, but like
difference. Yeah.
that's me pulling parenting style from how we were raised
Hmm.
into, you know, there. And then you're like, well, guess what? You can't fucking do that anymore, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like, whoa, hold on. Because let me tell you, there's one way that does work. And now all of a sudden we have all this weird untold or unwritten system that's now in place about can't do this, shouldn't do that, this is frowned upon, this is looked bad. Like, hold on, pump the brakes. This is why every single fucking kid in this generation is the way they are.
Yeah.
Parents, I know you're doing your best out there, but some of them, you sit there and we understand that we find friends that you shouldn't be hanging out with versus friends that you can hang out with.
Right.
And it's like, would we hang out with their parents? Fuck no. There's a reason. I don't get along with them. They
I don't
don't
people.
we don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
We don't have the same beliefs. Like that kind of thing. You're still probably a good human, good person. It's I'm not on your level of how I want my kids to be raised.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Is that under
Well, I think you and I have different perspectives too, because well,
Yeah.
one, I don't people much, so not very many parents I hang out with, but I don't like directly reflect. I mean, it is that like reflection of, okay, the kid probably behaves this way due to their parents, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I can't say that for certain
No.
because my kid's doing things, and so that'd be the same way as saying like, okay, well, it's because of their parents. So that
But
goes
that's
back to the whole like, am I doing the right parenting thing?
well, and that's what comes back to me as saying that because of the unwritten rule and system that's
Yeah.
going on in this generation of I
I think
I
technology
thought
has
I
ruined
thought
this generation.
yeah, and I think well, I saw something
Social media.
it was it was it's a show and you remember that guy that I showed you that was on Instagram and he put like the funny faces on him and he was singing in Spanish.
Yeah.
That guy, he's actually in like a TV show and he's a teacher. He's a high school teacher. And it's a funny show, but the girl in the show, he said something about a book and it was about an illness. And the girl goes, can you not use that word? And it's supposed to be funny. Can you not use that word? It's triggering to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably don't know, but I have um what did she say? Was it when you swear and shit and you can't like hold back?
Tourette's?
Tourette's.
Hmm.
I have something like it was like adjacent Tourette's or something like that. And he was like, what? And then the girl next to her started being like, oh, you don't know what that is? And he's like, I know what Tourette's are. And she's like, okay, so you're like halfway there. And she's like, but it's triggering to her.
Hmm.
And she's like sitting there and the whole class is like, she's like, but the whole class knows. So I wouldn't expect you to know right now. And they're like, everybody's like, all the classes are like shaking their heads. And she's like, okay, so this is a learning opportunity for you to understand what this is Tourette's. And he goes, I know what Tourette's is. She's like, perfect. And then goes off on a tangent. The last word is, it's self-diagnosed.
Mm.
And
Oh, like, yeah.
he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, not to hard, but I was gonna say, like, when I didn't know where you were going with that, but I was like, yeah, triggers are a thing in Tourette's and in a lot of people. But that is the hard part is And I see it every freaking day at work where people are coming in and they're like talking to my assistant about like, oh, I'm pretty sure I have blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So
I
you
have
see where I was
this.
going with that.
Yeah. And then it
Hmm.
is like, my assistant comes and tells me, and I'm like, oh, well, who diagnosed them? And they're like, Google.
Yeah.
And then I go in there and they're like, well, I Googled it. And I'm like, okay.
So yeah,
And so that is
technology.
very frustrating. Technology is causing people. I thought you were going somewhere completely
No,
different. I
no,
was like, I don't agree with this.
no.
But yeah, no. When people come in, or people or kids are like, I have this.
Yeah.
I have. What did I think? Aaliyah the other day was like she was like,
ADHD.
yeah, I
She's going
have.
off on tangent about
Yeah, and I
ADHD.
was like, no, I have
Yeah.
ADHD, and you are the complete opposite of
Yeah.
that. But it was because like they see these things on social media
Hmm.
and they're like, I do that one thing too.
Yep.
Okay, well, there's so much more than just that one thing.
Yep.
And that's the problem with social media too. I freaking hate it. Granted, we do social media, but it's like people are so gullible anymore that
Or
they
they're too
believe,
scared,
or yeah,
you know?
and they believe everything on social media
Yeah.
that like I ask you all the time, like, did you hear that on real news or Instagram news?
Hmm.
Like they believe everything they see. I don't even
Yeah.
say read anymore because it's literally like
They're
videos.
just watching other people talk
Right.
about the
And they
same
believe
thing. Who's
everything.
not an expert.
Right. And that's why we say all the time, like, this is my unprofessional. This is just our
Exactly.
opinions. But they believe everything. And there's people on there that are like legit paid for products or something, or
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, I have
Product
this is
sponsors.
what's going to work. But people go on there and and I am all for the people that are advocate. Like the other day, I was like watching that person that was like chronic POTS.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, this is legit. Like I have diagnosed by a cardiologist POTS.
Yeah.
And everything that person was talking about was like, yep, I've got all of these. But any other person that sees that will be like, oh, I have POTS. Okay, you might, but you should probably be worked up because it's actually a pretty chronic condition.
Yeah.
But it is hard. And then like going
You're
into
making a
schools.
prognosis versus a
Yeah.
diagnosis right
Yeah.
there.
Or so many people are like self-diagnosed. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Which frustrates because people out there actually have these things.
Yeah.
And it's not something to mess around with or joke about or self-diagnose.
Which I think, and what I was trying to get at is that generation now is sitting there
doing
going,
more of it.
I have this, I have that, I'm this, I'm that,
Yeah.
I go by this, I go by that. And it's like, dude, who the fuck are you?
There's a lot of influences.
Yeah.
For the younger generation, which is unfortunate for them.
And then I think what happens is people, teachers, parents, they get scared.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, or they start feeding into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those parents that really like latch onto their kids or like hold on to their, younger years or some shit like that. And they start like promoting that. And you're like, go
see a doctor,
run into a wall,
no.
Reset your brain and figure things out.
No, nobody should self-diagnose. And if you really do think you have those things, then you should probably go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And see, because they are serious things. But that's, again, another thing that's stressful about being a parent is like so many outside influences compared to you and I growing up, where it was just an everyday life. Like there weren't so many things with social media. And you can see on my Instagram I don't even know the last time I actually posted something on there.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. And when we go somewhere, it's always like, all right, phones down. Like,
yeah,
they don't need to be on phones. But I think people are probably listening to this and be like, oh, boo hoo. Like, life is stressful because your kid's watching YouTube. But it's so much more than that. It's just things we worked really hard for, things that don't always happen, or setbacks happen, like your accident, then creates financial stressors. And there's a lot more to it. And then it's, just worrying about everyday things too. These are just a few things, again, of this being a raw and honest podcast. Like I could easily say, and don't get me wrong, like I appreciate and love everybody that listens to this, but did I want to sit here tonight and record this podcast? No.
I had this much energy for you guys. I don't know if you can see that.
Literally.
But I was like, you know what? We have to do it for our fans.
Yeah.
And I think this is a very good way to show, that
we're real people.
We're real. not only that we're real people, but that people do have these kind of problems.
Yeah.
And the biggest message I want to make clear is it's okay to have these situations. It's okay to not have an answer for everything.
Yeah.
It's okay to walk in the dark for a little bit and wander around until you do find the light, or, you know, a little speck of hope, or whatever you're looking for, because it's literally there. You just have to get through some shit in order to figure out what's going on.
Right.
And it's like,
And it's a learning moment. Like you're going to grow from this too.
and things are just gonna, like, you're gonna think at the end of the day, life is literally just beating you fucking down.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't take it anymore. I can't do this. Like, I don't have any answers. I don't know what's going. And it's life's literally sitting there and going, I'm doing this one last thing. And if you don't give up, it's going to flip.
Yes.
It's going to flip. And you're going to be like, holy shit. 6 months ago, I thought this was going on.
Yeah.
You know?
And
it's so different for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody,
and what they're walking through and how they get through it is so different.
Exactly. And it's never fair for anybody to judge anybody by how they're doing that day, or what kind of response you're getting from them, or what they look like.
Yeah.
Like, you have no clue what they're going through. So you always give somebody the grace of what they're going through. And then you could be there for support. You don't even have to be there. Just pass by, give a smile, you know, or something like that. I always say smiles are contagious. So I told you, you got it.
Yeah.
So it's always that thing. And so I always want people to look at themselves, like, take a second in the mirror and just be like, it's going to be okay. Like, get lost in your eyes, just staring. Don't think, move forward. You're going to get there.
Yeah. And it might take long. Some people might take longer than others, just depending on what they're going through and the means they have to get through it. But I do feel like there is an end to that tunnel, and for every person. And I think that's, like I said, we are human. We go through these stressful points, and it's hard to, you can't just like say, oh, I'm stressed out and snap out of it. Like, you're stressed for a reason.
Yeah.
And so it is getting yourself to the end of that tunnel and coming out on the other end.
Yeah.
But it's hard sometimes. And I feel like a lot of people, like I said, people listen to this and be like, oh, those are your biggest problems. No, we have a lot of other things going on
I could
too.
make a fucking checklist for you if you really wanted me to.
But that it's just us like saying that there are hard times, and there's a lot of hard times in our world right now for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I always do try to find a silver lining somewhere. And I think in the stuff we're going through, I mean, even with you and school, you're like, oh man, I've got this assignment, that assignment, and this assignment, and so much to do. I was like, silver lining, you're at home to do it. Like, you don't have to balance it with work, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, thankful for that. But that's how I think I get through things, is finding those silver linings of like, okay, this fucking sucks. This is shitty, but here's where it's going to get me, and here's what's going to happen at the end, or here's what I think I'm going to try and get us to at the end, kind of thing. But
working towards a goal.
Yeah. Like I said, did I want to sit here and make this podcast after a long day at work? No, I did not. But again, when I commit to something, I commit to it, and that's what we needed to do. And then we still have to do our workout, and
I still have class to do.
Yeah, I've still got articles to read.
I still have more class to do.
But it's staying committed to that, and for me, like, I'm gonna get through it because I know there's an end to this tunnel, and I will come out on the other side. And then we record the podcast. That's great. And then we get to go do the rest of our stuff, go to bed, wake up, do it all over again tomorrow, and keep looking forward.
Every problem has a solution.
Every problem has a solution. You may not know that solution. Obviously, you don't, or it wouldn't be a problem. And you may not know if you're ever going to find the solution, but I think you have to believe that you're going to find the solution to do that.
Because at the end of the day,
there is no protocol for this. That's my rant for today.
Cheers, guys.
Toodle.
There is no protocol for this.